that. Now let's go right to Capitol Hill. Democratic Congresswoman Jennifer McClellan is standing by for us, a surrogate for the Biden campaign, of course. Congresswoman, great to see you. What did you think of that response from Senator Britt?
Well, that response ignores what I hear from parents. I myself am a parent and talk to them every single day. And what I hear from parents is that they're facing a child care crisis. They're facing a crisis of fear that when they send their children to school, they may be gunned down. They fear that the climate crisis will overrun their communities with flooding and affecting their quality of life because of climate change affecting the health of their children. And President Biden has been working to address each of these crises while Republicans have stood in the way. President Biden has been working to address the border crisis while Republicans have stood in the way. And so I think that she is ignoring what I'm hearing in my community from parents.
So, Congresswoman, we, of course, did hear the president touch on these issues. But if you look at much of the polling, it is precisely what we heard from Senator Britt there. Our families are hurting, so the economy and also the border crisis that Americans are most worried about. Do you think that the president sent enough of a message on those two issues to reassure voters?
I think he began that conversation, and we will continue that conversation through to November. But remember, the reason we don't have a bill right now to address the border crisis is because Republicans blocked it. President Biden sent a bill down. When that didn't get taken up, the Senate negotiated a bipartisan, strong border bill that then they said, oh, we're not going to address this because the former president told us not to. And so I think this is early in the campaign. We need to make sure we are getting this message out to voters where they are on every medium, not just in the State of the Union address and on these television interviews today. And we are going to do that. But President Biden is addressing another issue that I hear from my constituents all the time, and that is the fact that they are furious that they can't make their own health care decisions without interference from politicians since Trump-appointed judges overturned Roe versus Wade. And I hear a lot about that, and the president's addressing it.
I want to ask you about what Senator Britt said about President Biden's foreign policy. She said we've become a nation in retreat. The enemies of freedom see an opportunity. And she's referring directly there to the war in Ukraine, but also the war between Israel and Hamas. What do you think of that?
The Republicans are standing in the way of us sending aid to our allies overseas, particularly in Ukraine and in Israel, and in sending aid to civilians in Gaza. It is not the president that is causing us to look weak with our allies abroad. The former president did. The former president has said Putin can do whatever he wants. This president is standing up to Putin, and this president is working with our allies to secure our interests abroad, to secure our NATO allies, where the former president was derelict in his duty in doing so.
All right, Congresswoman, thank you so much for speaking with us. Great to have your views here on BBC News tonight.
Thank you.
I want to come back